the brain as a computer. I need to tell you something before we go any further, because it's the reason this film exists at all. As a teenager, I survived an attempt on my own life. I'm not going to describe the details of that night, because they don't matter, and because how a person gets to that point looks different for everyone. A few years later, I ended up discovering the pop star Prince and writing his first hit song, so my life really did turn around and become worth living. That happened because in the years that followed my failed attempt, I became determined to understand why my own mind had turned against me so completely, and to find a way to change how I thought about myself permanently. What you're about to see is the program I eventually built out of sheer desperation to save myself. It saved my life, and I've spent years since then refining it, testing it, and, as you'll see later in this film, correcting parts of it as I learn more. There is nothing to buy. I do not sell it. I give it away for free in the hopes it will help save others as it did for me. Before going on for legal and ethical reasons, I do need to say, if you or someone you know is struggling right now, please know that help is available. In the United States, you can call or text 988 to reach the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline any hour of the day. I'll share that number again before this film ends. But for now, I want to begin where I started, with a simple idea that changed the way I understood my own mind. Our brains, in a lot of ways, work like computers. Not literally. A brain is a living, breathing, endlessly more complicated thing than any machine we've built. But the comparison holds up well enough to be genuinely useful, and it's the framework I want to use throughout this film. Picture two identical computers side by side. Into one, you feed a steady stream of good material, clean data, useful programs, nothing harmful. Into the other, you let viruses and corrupted files accumulate unchecked for years. You already know what happens. The second computer slows down. Programs stop responding. Eventually, if nothing changes, it stops functioning the way it was built to function. Our brains respond to input in a strikingly similar way. What we feed our minds, the thoughts we allow to run on repeat day after day, shapes how we operate just as surely as software shapes a computer. I later found out that psychologists actually have real science behind this idea. It's called neuroplasticity, the brain's own well-documented ability to physically rewire itself based on repeated patterns of thought and behavior. Neurons that fire together, wire together, as researchers often put it. Thoughts we repeat don't just pass through us. Over time, they carve out real physical pathways in the brain that make themselves easier to activate again. In other words, the computer metaphor isn't just a nice way of explaining this. It's remarkably close to what's actually happening biologically inside your head. For the purposes of this film, I'm going to call harmful, repetitive, negative self-thinking exactly what it resembles: a virus. It slows us down. It clouds our perspective. It causes us to miss opportunities that a clearer mind would have seen easily. And like any virus, it rarely announces itself. It just runs quietly in the background, shaping outcomes we don't even realize it's influencing. Here's something I noticed early on, and it's worth thinking about. Confidence, when it's spoken aloud to strangers, doesn't always land the way we'd expect. Walk into a room and announce, unprompted, how capable and impressive you are, and people tend to pull back. We are not socially encouraged to act and speak confidently. For many, it's a turnoff. Why is that? By contrast, walk into that same room and share a struggle instead. Admit you're having a hard time, and people often lean in. What people tend to pull back from isn't confidence itself. It's self-promotion, unprompted and disconnected from anything real. What draws people in is honesty, vulnerability, the sense that another person has actually struggled the way we have. That's not the world punishing positive self-regard. That's the world responding to authenticity. And it turns out that's a distinction worth understanding because it's going to matter later in this film. There's a genuine silver lining hiding in all of this, though, and it's the thing that changed how I saw my own suffering. The struggles so many of us carry quietly, the self-doubt, the harsh inner voice, the sense of not being good enough, is one of the most universal experiences a human being can have. It took me forever to understand none of us are alone in it, even when it feels that way. That shared struggle is a real, powerful bond between people, arguably one of the strongest bonds there is. I finally came to understand this is actually what ties us all together. It's our common bond. Realizing that turned something that had felt purely negative into something I could actually use, a point of connection with nearly everyone I would ever meet. I hope by the end of this film, it can do the same for you also. Chapter 2, Running the Virus Scan. If we're going to fix a problem, we first have to see it clearly. So this chapter is your virus scan, a way of identifying the specific negative programs that may already be running quietly in your own mind, some of them for years, entirely unnoticed. Now the only thing you will need is one piece of paper and one pen. Pause a moment at this time and find each, then proceed to the first step. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's proceed. Here are 10 short statements. On your paper, create 10 blank questions and label each one through 10. For each question, you are asked simply and without thinking, just write down the number that corresponds to how often it applies to you. 3 for always, 2 for sometimes, 1 for rarely, 0 for never. There's no score to aim for here, and no one else will ever see your answers, so there's no benefit to anything but total honesty with yourself. So for question 1, for example, if you agree with the statement, just write down the number that reflects how often it happens. 3 for always, 2 for sometimes, 1 for rarely, 0 for never. 1. I feel that I'm not good enough, or I'm not attractive. 2. I compare myself negatively to others. 3. I feel uncomfortable accepting compliments. 4. I dwell on my mistakes. 5. I believe others see me in a negative light. 6. I struggle to find things I like about myself. 7. I avoid trying new things because I fear failure. 8. I often think that I'll never succeed. 9. I feel anxious in social situations because I worry about what others think. 10. I don't deserve happiness or success. Finished. Please put down your pen. Most people, when they're honest with themselves, find they carry a handful of these, not just one. That's completely normal. These patterns tend to travel in groups. Once one takes hold, it tends to open the door to others. You are not unusual for having several. You're actually in the majority. Take a moment now and notice which of these felt the most true for you. Which ones landed hardest? Hold on to that. It's exactly what we're going to use to build your program in the chapters ahead. Chapter 3. What the scan reveals. Each of the 10 patterns, or as we call them, viruses you just rated, reflects a distinct, common way that negative self-talk shows up in daily life. It's worth hearing what each one actually sounds like inside a person's head, because putting language to it is often the first time people recognize a pattern they've been living with and accepting for years without ever naming it. Not feeling good enough sounds like, I always mess things up. Everyone else is more talented than I am. I'm not attractive enough, smart enough, capable enough. Negative comparison sounds like, look how much better they are than me. I'll never have what they have. Why can't I be like them? Discomfort with compliments sounds like, they're just being nice. They don't really mean it. If only they knew my flaws. Dwelling on mistakes sounds like, I can't believe I did that. I should have known better. I always make the same mistakes. Believing others see you negatively sounds like, they must think I'm a failure. I can tell they're judging me. I bet they talk about me when I'm not there. Difficulty liking yourself sounds like, there's nothing special about me. I can't find one thing I'm proud of. Fear of trying new things sounds like, what if I fail miserably? I'd rather stay safe than risk it. Expecting future failure sounds like, I know I'll mess it up again. Why even try if I'm just going to fail? Social anxiety sounds like, everyone must think I'm awkward. I'll embarrass myself if I open my mouth. And believing you don't deserve happiness sounds like, good things never last for me. I'm always waiting for the other shoe to drop. If several of these sound uncomfortably familiar, as some of them did to me at one time, then that's the scan or virus detection working exactly as it should. Well done. Step 1 is completed. You've now identified any actual viruses that are running in the background of your mind. In the next chapter, we're going to talk about where that background program came from in the first place. And then, in the chapters after that, how to easily fix or change it. Chapter 4. The BIOS. Every computer, before it ever opens a single program, runs something far more basic first, a foundational layer called the BIOS, short for Basic Input-Output System. It's what powers up the keyboard, the monitor, the core hardware before anything else can load on top of it. It's the deepest, earliest layer to load that the whole computer system depends on. You can think of your own subconscious in the same way. Long before we consciously decide what kind of day we're going to have, a much older, quieter program is already running, a set of core beliefs about our own worth, capability, and likability that switches on the moment we wake up and runs continuously in the background until we fall back asleep. Most of us never examine it directly. It's simply always been there, running since childhood, shaping outcomes and relationships in ways we rarely trace back to their source. This is like your own personal BIOS. It is the main program running you. You can change it yourself anytime, but you've never been told this. No one ever taught you it might be possible, and they certainly didn't teach you the programming language for your own mind. But we will, right here, right now. Here's the most important part, and it's the part I most want you to walk away from this film believing. Your inner core human brain program, or your personal BIOS, is changeable. It feels permanent because it's old, older than your own memory of it, and because it has always run quietly in the background without anyone pointing it out. Now here is the key, the fundamental piece of knowledge that is your key to recoding your brain. If we look at how it was created originally and how it is updated and persists, it was built and continues to be maintained by repetition. It is through a series of repeated commands to your brain that it exists and gets updated. It is not a fixed set of commands, and this is the secret. Anything built through repetition can be built or rebuilt differently through repetition. And now, the tough question. I have to ask you directly, the way I had to ask myself at 17, how committed are you to actually changing your core inner program? If you are truly happy and at peace, there may be no significant improvement possible for you. It looks like you've got this piece of your own brain all figured out. But if you would like a tweak here, a little improvement over there, or a full-on reboot, this might work for you as it did for me. At the time, I didn't realize this, but change is genuinely achievable for virtually all of us, at no cost, with no medication required, and no dramatic change to your daily routine. All it does require is some consistent follow-through. Remember, this is something you are doing all for yourself, so yes, you do deserve it. It's worth noting, it took a lifetime to build the virus programs currently running in your mind. Reprogramming your own computer and repairing corruptions only asks for sustained effort. In return, the same patient effort it takes to fully remove a persistent virus from any computer. Half measures tend to leave the underlying corruption intact. All you need to do is follow through for yourself and for your well-being. The good news is that the process itself is simple. It's just not instant. Chapter 5. Building your antivirus program. Now we build the fix, or antivirus, which is a short, personalized set of positive reinforcing statements designed to directly counter the negative virus messages you identified in your earlier scan in this program. Start with the 1 or 2 patterns that felt strongest for you. For each, we're going to provide you with a pre-formatted statement that runs in the opposite direction and counteracts the harmful messaging you have been hearing. First, let's start with a little insight in this area that is quite useful in constructing our antivirus statements. A well-known study published in the journal Psychological Science found that when people with lower self-esteem repeated broad, sweeping affirmations, statements like, "I am a lovable person," were shown to not have any real benefit to the individual. So here's the insight, and it's an important one. If you update or modify the provided statements, keep them small, specific, and hard to argue with. So instead of using "everyone loves me," change it to something closer to "I am kind to the people around me." Instead of using a statement like "I succeed at everything I do," change that to "I keep showing up and trying." The more believable the statement is to you, the less resistance your mind puts up against it, and the more room it has to actually take root over time. With that insight in mind, here are some starting statements organized against the virus or patterns you identified in your previous scan. Feel free to use these directly or write your own versions as long as they follow the same principle: small, positive, and something you can plausibly believe, even if you don't fully believe it yet. 1. For not feeling good enough. I am a good person and I am doing my best. 2. For negative comparison. I have my own path and it doesn't need to look like anyone else's. 3. For discomfort with compliments. I can accept kindness from others. 4. For dwelling on mistakes. I learn and grow from what I experience. 5. For believing others see you negatively. I try to be a positive presence in the people around me. 6. For difficulty liking yourself. There are things about myself I'm learning to appreciate. 7. For fear of trying new things. I am capable of trying, even when I'm afraid. 8. For expecting future failure. I am in charge of my own effort and direction. 9. For social anxiety. I am allowed to be exactly who I am around others. 10. For feeling undeserving of happiness. Good things are allowed to happen to me too. Now choose your 3 to 5 statements now. Write them down and don't change the wording going forward. Remember, we just need a little consistency. Consistency is what makes this work. Repetition needs a fixed target to actually build a new pathway. A good analysis I have used often is this is like a mantra, a very ancient and practiced method of reinforcing the beliefs you support. This mantra, or antivirus program, as we refer to in this program, is the weapons we will wield to help us change old, fixed, and stubborn beliefs in ourselves that are not true. Chapter 6. Running the Program. A mental virus or negative thought pattern takes hold through repetition. It gets said quietly, over and over, often without you realizing it, until it becomes the automatic response your mind reaches for without thinking. The way out uses the exact same mechanism, pointed in the opposite direction. Run your program a minimum of 3 times a day. Run times. The first time you run your new antivirus program is the moment you wake up, before anything else has had the chance to set the tone for your day. Lie still for a few minutes and repeat your statement slowly, in rhythm with your breath. Take one in on the inhale. On the exhale, simply let go, picturing whatever tension or negativity you're carrying, leaving your body along with the breath. Move to your next statement on the next inhale. Repeat the full list for 5 to 10 minutes. The next time to run your antivirus program is whenever you catch a negative thought being thought or said during your day. The exact moment an old pattern from your scan starts to surface. The instant you notice it, run through your full list of statements once or twice right then. You don't need stillness or privacy for this one. You're simply interrupting the old pattern with the new one on the spot in real time. Simply put, positive statements negate and neutralize negative statements. It's that simple. It's a math game, and once you understand the formula, it's easy to win. I want to also recognize that noticing your own thoughts consistently throughout the day, enough to interrupt them, is genuinely difficult. It's a skill that takes practice to build. If you find yourself forgetting to catch these moments at first, that's not a failure. That's simply where everyone starts. And yes, it is where I started also. You can always just run your antivirus statements whenever you notice you may have missed one earlier. Saying too many good things to yourself is okay. The last time you run your new antivirus program for that day is at night, right before sleep. The same slow, breath-paced repetition you used in the morning, letting your antivirus statements be the last conscious thoughts your mind hears before it powers down for the night. Over weeks and months, this becomes less like an effort and more like a habit you do quietly in the background, which, if you think back to Chapter 4, is exactly where your original negative programming lived too. You're not fighting your BIOS anymore. You're gradually rewriting it with the code of your own choosing, not others. Eventually, some of your statements will stop feeling like affirmations at all and start feeling like simple facts, the same way "I have two hands" feels like a fact rather than something you need to convince yourself of. When that happens, you have three options. Retire that statement because it's done its job. Replace it with a new one targeting a different pattern, or simply keep it running for ongoing reinforcement. All three are valid. The goal was never perfection. It was progress you could actually feel. I actually forgot to stop running my antivirus program, and even today, I still repeat it at the start and end of every day. I believe it is my personal secret to living a happy and fulfilled life. Chapter 7. What this program gave me. I told you at the start of this film that I survived an attempt on my own life as a teenager. I want to end by telling you what came after that. The process I've walked you through in this film, as best as I can trace it, is the single biggest reason I was able to build the life that followed. A career in music, discovering, producing, and writing hit songs for artists, including Prince. Writing and producing film documentaries shot in Africa made for public television. Being invited to the White House to meet the president and being hired as a one-man think tank for a billion-dollar corporation. I don't share that to impress you. I share it because I want you to understand that the version of me who nearly didn't survive his own teenage years is the same person who went on to build all of that. And the bridge between those two people was this exact program, refined and corrected over many years since. What I've tried to do here is offer you, with real confidence, something that worked for me. Realize the thoughts running in the background of your mind right now were built through repetition, which means they can be rebuilt the same way. It won't happen overnight, and it won't happen without consistent effort. But it is genuinely possible at any age to change the program running underneath everything you do, and thus change how you feel about everything, including yourself, your potential, and your self-worth. I encourage you to try the steps in this film. Choose your first 2 or 3 statements and start tomorrow morning, the moment you wake up. That's all it takes to begin. I know, because it's exactly how I began also. I believe you can reprogram your brain with the right code, a little effort, and a bit of time. I encourage you to try and see if this program can help you be the person you want to be and live the life you want, under your control and with your rules. I wish you well, fellow human programmer. This film is not a substitute for professional mental health care, and it was never meant to be one. If what you're carrying feels just too heavy, if you're in real crisis or thinking about harming yourself, please reach out to a licensed therapist, a doctor, or a crisis line. In the United States, you can call or text 988 any hour, day, or night to reach the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. That number is worth saving in your phone right now, whether you think you'll need it or not.